Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. Okay. So I came across this topic a couple days ago. Decided to really give y'all a good one today because I've been gone for a while and my last video was taken down. I mean, it was put back up, but it was taken down for a bit for, YouTube reasons. Is what it is. All right. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the short of the day. And this one is highly related to what we're talking about. So hit the like button, people. All right. Short of the day.
Have you ever cheated on your boyfriend?
I've never had a boyfriend.
How old are you?
22.
How have you never had a boyfriend? What about high school?
Nope.
So you just dated people like short term or what?
I've never dated anyone.
You're the second person tonight that says that.
Really?
Yeah.
See, it's not just me. It's like normal.
Have you ever cheated on your boyfriend?
Okay. So she's 22 years old, not bad looking. And not only has she never had a boyfriend, she never had a date. Now, the person that's interviewing her is probably a little older, maybe in his 30s or something. And it sounds weird to him. But it's really not that weird when you consider a number of variables that we're going to get into during this show. But just because she hasn't had a boyfriend, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with her. What we're going to talk about here, what we're going to talk about today is why on one hand you have women like this that's never had a boyfriend, never dated, never held hands, never been first kissed, I don't know. Like she just has a bunch of nevers. And then on the other hand, you have this lonely man epidemic or this I think I read somewhere as a statistic where like 30% of men under 30 haven't had, SEXX in the last year. So on one hand, you have that. On one hand, you have a guy her age, 30% of guys her age, just putting the lotion industry in business. They're creating whole new levels of lotions for these dudes. On one hand, you have that. And then on the other hand, you have her who, probably got a rose and a cucumber and an eggplant and all kinds of stuff at home to satiate her needs. So why is this? Why can't the two just get together? It's like somebody is walking around saying, hey, I got a slice of bread and some peanut butter. And somebody else says, hey, I got a slice of bread and some jelly. And then they just walk away and say, okay, I guess I'm not going to eat anything for lunch. It's one of those things. It's weird. It's weird. That's why it's worth exploration. And that's why we are going to cover this today. Salute to all the early people. Sweet Melody Speaks. Haven't seen her in a bit. Lion, salute. Kevin Murray, peace. D. Scott, salute. All right. So we are going to get into it today. All right. So I'm gonna start doing this more often. I'm really going to start maximizing my use of TikTok. Oh crap. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So stop share and present. This is going to get on my nerves, I could tell. Okay. All right. Before we get into it, take a look at this chick. Last one is cool. This one is cool too. But not only that, and this used to burn my mind too when I would visit friends or family members who are locked up. and the amount of dudes that had a fresh fade really just, I really just stopped. I really was like, why? For a long time, I'm like, why? I don't think if I was locked up, I would care about that. Who am I trying to impress? My cellmate? But then I thought about it. I was like, well, I am there on visitation day, and that's probably why they faded up. But well, here, let me play it so you see what I mean. Why I'm talking about her looks and the fact that she is doing whatever, putting whatever chemical or what have you on her face right now. Let's look into this. Fair use.
I think you should feel bad if you've never had a boyfriend and you're in your 20s. Because take me, for example. I am 24 and I have never had a boyfriend. There were definitely times where I would feel really shitty about the fact that I've never had a boyfriend. And more recently, I've been trying to do some introspective work and kind of figure out why exactly I felt like that. And not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm great. And I know whenever the time does come, I will be a phenomenal partner. I'm fun, I'm motivated, I can pay my own bills. And seemingly every guy I've ever been with thinks the same thing and says the same thing. So why is it that I've never had a boyfriend? But then again, the more I think about it, I don't think I want to be in a relationship. Who's to say when is a good time to be in a relationship or when is too late to be in a relationship? I am
God. Who's to say when it's too late to be in a relationship or when is a good time to be in a relationship? The name of the person is Yahweh. The G, the G, the G, the O, the D, the G, the G, the O, the D is Yahweh. Okay, I shouldn't be making fun of Dude's song considering everything that's going on, but still. So this woman is completely oblivious to the concept of fertility window. She's completely oblivious to you start to decline at 30. Now, of course, you're not thinking about this at 26, but she's completely oblivious to you start to decline at 30. And it's a greater decline in the mid 30s. And then, in the 40s to like 45, it's almost impossible. I mean, I know, and I think Melody sent me a short or informational, like the black girl from Boy Meets World. She had one at 54, but don't try to make anomalies the norm. Don't try to do that, especially since we don't know what they had to do to make that happen. And quite frankly, well, I won't get into it, but let's just say a lot of what you see isn't what it is as far as these celebrity babies in their 60s and crap like that. So, yeah. So just so you know, that's not it. But back to her. Unlike the first woman that we examined, she has been on dates. And these guys are saying that she has dated are saying, "You're phenomenal. You're great. So, are you going to be my boyfriend?" Oh, no. But you're phenomenal. I mean, you are phenomenal. What does it mean when a man says you're phenomenal but won't be with you? It means that he got some of that good and got to go. He got the good and got to go. Hey, and look, I do not blame them. Look at that. Yes, I would get that good and I would get to go. That they are smart for doing that. And why did they go through it's obvious why they got the good. Why did they have to go? Well,
a hot take, but I don't think you should feel.
Why did they have to go? Well, the reason is because she doesn't take life seriously. She's not planning for the future. She likes to shop. Women like to shop to a degree that is just nonsensical to men. Men look at shopping as a means to an end. It's the destination, not a journey. We go somewhere like, I want some shoes. We go in, We try on a few pair. Here are the shoes. I'm gone. That's it. Any of you, all of you, who have been a boy, say between 10 and 12, know that the worst thing that you had to do, there's a lot of things you had to do as a kid, even if it wasn't taught to you, is still common courtesy. Kiss your grandma, contact your grandma from time to time, say please and thank yous, and what else is there? Pretend like you like birthday gifts that you don't like. Show that you're grateful for that. Same with Christmas gifts. So there are certain things that you had to do that you didn't necessarily want to do as kids. At the top of that list was shopping with your mama. Shopping with your mama before, you was too interested in girls and all that stuff. And, I would sooner just wear, a potato sack. I would sooner just go to school in last year's clothes and just, just work with roasting and getting roasted by the other kids before I shopped with my mom. That was just ridiculous. Still have nightmares about that. That is ridiculous. Just the amount of time, energy for some damn pants. It was ridiculous. My point is, women love to shop, and they don't take dating their approach to dating is the same way. It's not about, they will shop for hours and walk out with no bags. They will window shop for hours. That is what they are doing in dating. That is what she is doing. She is shopping. She is shopping in an infinity store. What is an infinity store? An infinity store is a store with infinity supply and variations of stuff. That is her mating pool. That is the amount of men that want to sleep with her. She can shop infinity penis forever and ever and ever and ever. And guess what? She's doing it. If men thought like her, Kobe Bryant, not Kobe Bryant, what's his name? Forgive me, I'm a nerd. LeBron James would be joining the NBA right now if men thought like her. LeBron James would be joining the NBA right now. How old is he? Like, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But I know he's been there for a while. Because he would just be shopping different basketball franchise. He would just be like, I don't see what's the rush. I'm 22. I'm out of college. I don't see what the rush. Yeah, all these people are trying to draft me. I don't see what the rush is. What's the difference between joining now and joining at 39? I don't see what the big hurry is. If men thought like that, they would do stuff like that. Like, I'm just enjoying these recruiters buying me stuff, calling my phone, trying to get me to what? I don't see the rush. That is her equivalent. Fortunately, men don't think like that. Fortunately, Tyson did not start fighting now. He became champion like at 19. Fortunately, Muhammad Ali didn't. We understand that God puts a rush on you. All right, let me get back to this shit. All right.
But then again, the more I think about it, I don't think I want to be in a relationship. Who's to say when?
Now notice she's doing whatever, bitchcraft she's doing to her face to beautify herself while saying she don't want a man. So you got to ask yourself, why is she beautiful? Oh, she's adding to her infinity store. She's adding to her infinity store. Like, I don't really want a man, but I still want them to approach me because I like shopping through my options and I want more options to shop through.
When is a good time to be in a relationship? Or when is too late to be in a relationship? I am 24. I have the rest of my life, literally the rest of my life, to figure it out. More importantly,
Dear, you are a complete idiot. No matter, no, and you see why. So we understand why. I mean, it's obvious why they pump. She's light skinned. We understand why they pump. But when you ask why they dump, like, imagine being on a date with her and she says something like, I have the rest of my life. I'm telling you, LeBron, if LeBron James ever said that ever, he would be a complete and total idiot. I have the rest of my life to join the NBA. They do not understand diminished value. Now, in her defense, society doesn't really teach her the concept of diminished value. What I notice society does, as far as like actresses and things like that, the ones who were attractive when they were young and then they just disappear. Now, the ones who stay attractive, like the Halle Berrys and stuff like that, who stay reasonably attractive for their age, they stay on the screen. But the other ones, they just poof. Like they just disappear. You don't see them at all. So the concept of they're not really being shown that, but it's really not even about that. It's really not about the physical appearance because like Baker's saying, Botox fillers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there is ways to combat aging, and I wouldn't, because no matter, there isn't enough fillers in the world that will make her at 40 look like her right now. There isn't. We as men are going to know the difference. We are. We see Halle Berry now. I'm not saying that she looks bad. I think she was in a movie with Mark Wahlberg recently or something like that. Not saying that she looks bad, but we remember Swordfish. Like, just leave it at that. So yeah, Megan Good, like Megan Good, they continue to show these women. Megan Good still looks good. She looks great. Jonathan Majors is a lucky dude. Oh, and I'm going back at O'Shea because he just can't keep Jonathan Majors' name out his mouth. He just can't keep Jonathan Majors' name out his mouth. I'm going back at him. Stay tuned for that. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I'm sick of it. They just can't let that dude live. Different show. Back to this chick. Don't understand the concept of diminishing value, especially as it applied to women. And I get it. I can get it. Nobody is telling these bras this. And to be honest, it's impossible. It's impossible. How can you tell somebody with this many mating options, as many mating options as you assume she has, that one day it will greatly diminish? It will greatly diminish. And how do you explain the concept? But how do you explain the difference between mating options, the ability to engage in a short-term relationships, the ability to engage in a long-term relationship, the ability to get married versus the ability to sustain marriage for an extended period of time that ends with death? How do you explain it? That there's different levels, and she hasn't mastered the first level in 6 years of adulthood, in her prime. She has not mastered the first level. I have a lot to cover, so let me continue. I'm gonna just play the last minute.
This is the time to really figure out what you like and what you want and what you don't. Let's be honest, How many times
Oh my gosh. Dang, she's dense. This is really the time to figure out what you want. How long did it take a kid to realize that he liked chocolate ice cream? This is a kid. It takes one Halloween for a kid to realize his favorite candy. But you see, that's that shopping. I know I said I just play it through. That's that shopping mentality that they like so much. That's that shopping mentality. You know, I just got to figure out what I want. Put it like this. If you were to create a shoe store, and this store is the size of, let's just say, Nantucket. If there was a shoe store the size of Nantucket that had food and water inside of it, it would be women shopping in there for 20 years. You got to figure out what I want. Y'all talking about O'Shea. Yeah, I mean, listen. Trust me, the video is coming. The video is coming. All right, so let's continue. Speaking of which, here is a woman who understood at a young age, who's still in her 20s, at a young age, like, this is something I want. I'm not going to shop around through my, I'm pretty sure large options before settling down. This chick's like, oh yes, I have to figure out what I want. Really? Really?
times have you looked at one of your friends and been like, he treats you like shit, he doesn't deserve you, so why are you allowing this to happen? And I think more times than not, people stay in these relationships out of the fear of being alone. But why is being alone such a bad thing? I remember I got this comment on TikTok, and this girl was like, girl, you're always dating. As I should, because I'm not going to settle. And there are so many different types of men out there that who am I to sit there and just go for the first one just because the date was good? No. And maybe this is just a very long video, and the moral of the story is you should treasure the time that you're single. And you can be the priority for yourself, and you can do what you want, when you want, however you want, with no one to tell you what to do. Even if you've been in a relationship and you're newly single, and I know it's scary, embrace it. But that's my hot take. Be single.
Yes, I still smash. She's dizzy as hell. Like I told you, she has a shopper's mentality. She's walking around 24, never been in a relationship, talking about, why should I go with the first guy just because I like him? There's so many other guys. There's infinity other guys. If you were to sleep with each and every single man if you were to sleep with a man a day that wants to sleep with you, you will be 193 by the time you get to the bottom of the pile of penises. So I get it. You are enjoying exploring options, but don't you understand that there's no cap to it? The only cap is your diminished value, is when the penises stop. And they're going to stop after the marriage proposals stop. Meaning that guys are going to, first of all, they don't take you seriously now, but they're going to really stop taking you seriously. Your whole glossy lips, all that is going to diminish. She don't understand that. And she don't understand that because she's stupid. And it's not her fault that she's stupid. And I don't even think it's partly genetic. Okay. The reason why she's stupid is because nobody challenged her. And the reason why nobody challenged her because they're too busy trying to smash. Hit the like button. Speaking of smashing. Anyway, I got a lot to cover today. Let's go to the next video. All right, let's continue. All right, I got to keep doing this. I got to keep unpresenting, then representing, but All right, who's that? Jordan.
Options. Gross. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, we've had 37.
Okay, let me go back to the
We're
beginning.
girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, whenever someone likes us, we're going to get. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, whenever someone likes us, we're going to get the ick because we can't imagine someone actually liking us. Don't you have other options? Gross. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, we've had 37 situationships. And no, we're never going to stop talking about them. Ever. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, whenever someone asks us when our last relationship was, we're having an internal panic attack. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, we still have Snapchat because it's the only way we can get a man to communicate with us. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, whenever you announce your engagement and we see photos of your wedding and we see a pregnancy announcement, we're wondering, is that ever going to be us? Is it? We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Yeah, our families have just, they've stopped asking. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, Hinge is the app designed to be deleted because why do you keep suggesting that I'm most compatible with a man who, like, I hope I'm not compatible with? We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, we're going to question ourselves every day if our standards are just a little bit too high. Then we're like, wait a minute, our standards are likes me back and has a job and like can make me laugh. So we're girls who've never had boyfriends. Can you tell us how to get a boyfriend if you've had one? Can you like drop any tips and tricks? Thank you. All right, love you guys. Bye. We're girls who have never.
Okay. So she's doing a little satire on that. One of the things I found interesting is the standards portion, especially when you compare it to the last woman that we spoke. Come on. Listen, I can't stand the lies. I can't stand the lies. I cannot stand the lies. Ladies, please stop lying and saying your standards is all I want is a man with a job and 10 fingers and 10 toes. No, that's not. You have rejected a man with a job before. You have and I'm not talking about her individually because she's doing her bit, but you know, come on, be honest. You know, your criteria is yeah, exactly. The bare minimum is yeah. Let's stop kidding ourselves. Let's, you know, I mean, if that was the case, fellas would be walking up to chicks, be like, you know, in their Taco Bell uniform, talking about I got a job. Come on now. Let's that is the classic lie. I mean, that's just something that they say when people ask, like, I don't know. All I want is a guy with a job. And next time a woman says something like that to you, offer her somebody with a job. Offer her somebody with a job. If all these chicks wanted was a dude with a job, they would just be humping on the Amazon delivery guy the moment he knocks on the door and rings the doorbell. She just comes out in her bra like, hey, and yanks him in. Oh crap. Well, yeah, the Alhambra, Amazon, you know, FedEx, any delivery guy and mailman, you know, and cable repairman and plumber. Come on, stop lying. Stop lying. I mean, great satire, but she did touch on a common lie that just annoys me. I'm going to do a separate show on this. I haven't been since the 90s, but I have come to conclude that women are lying about Atlanta. So stay tuned for that. All right, hold on. Let me, because I gotta pause it because it's TikTok. All right, so.
says it's gonna be okay, but no one really knows that. That's just what you say.
I watched that video and another girl talking to a similar sentiment about like wanting to find their person, wanting to fall in love, wanting it to be their time. And I was like, wow, that is so interesting because I just do not resonate with that at all. So I wanted to talk to the girlies who are kind of in my boat. I'm 27, never had a boyfriend, and I just don't want one. Like if one presented, not that I don't want one, but I don't care that I don't have one, I guess is the difference. Like it's so far down on my priorities list that I don't seek it. I don't really like, I'm not going out in the hopes of me.
I really appreciate her honesty. Same with the first TikTok video I showed. I really appreciate her honesty. I can't, at least she's being like, it's a matter of me not wanting it. It's not a matter of I can't find a guy with a job. It is a matter of me not wanting it. Now, she's 27 and she doesn't understand because I'm pretty sure, she's not my type, just so y'all know. Unlike the first, the short of the day and the light-skinned girl, she's not my type physically. But I'm pretty sure she is a commodity in where she's from. She sounds like she's from England. She's a hot enough commodity to where she can attract a guy for short term. And if there's a certain, it's very difficult. And of course, she doesn't know this because she's spent a decade of her life, with an empty vagina, of her adult life with an empty vagina. But she doesn't really understand how difficult it is to turn a man's short-term interest into a permanent situation. It seems easy because these guys are begging to get you into bed. It seems easy at that point. I could tell you it's not. It's not. Not that I've tried with guys, but I am a guy and that is not married and have dated, so women have tried to start at the stage that you have dated, that you are in, and haven't been able to make it to the pinnacle. You think it's easy, that's why you're not taking it seriously. Like getting her to take relationships seriously is like getting a child to take health seriously. It's like getting a child to eat their vegetables. Listen, I'm 10, my metabolism is that of a 10-year-old. I don't see the purpose of vitamins, carrots, and I don't see the purpose of spinach. I don't see the purpose of all of that now. She's blindsided by that.
Meeting someone, I'm not actively dating. I'll go on dates here and there, but nothing crazy. And I just kind of wanted to talk to those girls.
So she's going on dates knowing that she's not looking. She's going on dates knowing that she's not looking. These are time wasters. Like that means that she's going looking for something to do on your dime. And you wonder why. I seen a special where like speed dating events, it was like 90% women because they know, because the guys know by now that those women are not really taking dating seriously. They're just looking for something to do. And guys value their time better than that. They could be watching the game, scratching their balls. So why would you waste your time with a broad like this?
And let you know that it is okay to be like that as well. And maybe it's naive of us to think that everything will just work out, but I do believe that. And again, I do have a little bit of time on my side. I'm still 27, and maybe like in my mid 30s, I'll feel a little bit differently because obviously you have a body clock. Like I want kids and
Yeah. Sweetie, senior year isn't the time that you start thinking about college. Your senior year in high school isn't the time to start thinking about college. and your senior year of college isn't when you start picking a major. She said, maybe when I'm in my mid-30s, I'll start thinking about relationships. She's dumb, dumb, dumb. So for those of you who don't know, who haven't seen me, I'm a brown-skinned man. There is a black portion on my forehead, a darker portion on my forehead from smacking it so much, from dealing with such stupidity. Once again, LeBron James, what if LeBron James joined the NBA now? That is the same mentality. If LeBron James was as dizzy as these broads, he would be joining the NBA now. Are you kidding me? Maybe in my mid-30s, I can start taking relationships seriously. Yeah, maybe in my mid-30s, I can start taking basketball seriously. Wait, what? Now, and it's funny, and it shows how backwards and bras like this is. First of all, don't listen to a person's accent and think that they're smart. Second of all, it shows how backwards they are, because everything else they can put off to their mid-30s. But this. I'm going to repeat that. Everything else, everything right now that she has going on, maybe her career or whatnot, but everything else she could put off into her mid to late 30s. Everything. If she dropped out of college at 18 and focused on having a family, in her mid 30s, she could go back to college and become a doctor by the time she's in her early 40s, and begin a medical career. She can actually do that, and she has a better chance of doing that than she does at starting a family when she never had a boyfriend. She had no experience. Her relationship resume is a selfie of her ass with black panties on. That is her relationship resume.
Want a husband one day. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting, and I wanted to voice and make sure that the girlies who don't want that right now and feel like, oh, should I want that? Like, wait, am I at an age where I should be wanting those things? Like, do I need to start dating more? Do I need to do this? And then it starts getting stressful. I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that it's fine.
It is not fine.
You already knew that, but just in case.
It is not fine. If you're 27 and you never had a job, it's not fine.
Here's some reassuring from me that we're all going to be okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just unfazed. So let's have a fun summer. Hey?
What does she mean by fun summer? Let us have a fun summer. What does she mean by having a fun summer? With bras like this, whatever her definition of fun is no fun to you as a man. It's no fun to you. It means her going to the bikini or going to the beach in a bikini and going home with an empty vagina. That's what that, like, ooh, I had so much fun. Think about your grandma. For those of you who are Gen X. And if you're younger, then think about your great grandma and so forth. How they would be married by like 16 to a man that is your grandpa. It's not her first husband. It's her only husband. Think about that. Think about how much she accomplished relationship-wise by the time that she's 27 with grandma. By the time grandma was 27, your dad was 12 years old. Think about that for a second. And think about this broad. Oh man. I'm gonna stick with me. I'm gonna have a conclusion. Hit that like button. Because there's a lot to unpack. Ah, oh, crap, this chick. Okay. Now, for those of you who are under the impression that I found the first
Sometimes I be looking at like y'all
that I found the first two chicks attractive because they're black, or half black or whatever, and I didn't find the white girls attractive because it's a race thing. Well, that is a component. I'm not going to lie about that, but I don't find this one completely attractive. Now, listen, I don't find this one attractive. Now, listen, ladies. Yes, we do like natural hair. That doesn't mean that you can do anything as long as it's natural and we will be okay with it. Let's be clear. There is, like, within the category of natural, there still is good and bad. Understand that. There's a bunch of other stuff I could get into, but I will say not my type.
sometimes I be looking at like y'all couple pictures and y'all on vacations with y'all boo and whatever, and I just be like, when the fuck is it gonna be my turn? When the fuck is it going to be my turn? I just want to experience dating as an adult. I want to be courted as I should be. That's
Is it about actually being with the person? Because listen to what she's saying. She's not saying, I actually want to be in a relationship. I actually want to love, marriage, baby, carriage, white, picket fence. Love, marriage, baby, carriage, white, picket fence. No, she just wants to be courted. She just wants the guy to dress like a 17th century Frenchman, and he's light-skinned, and he gets on one knee and he says, my darling, might I have the opportunity to call upon you? Or some crap like that. She wants a I can't believe it's not butter commercial. She wants something. She just wants the courting of it. She don't actually want the dude. She just wants the guy to serenade her. I give you my love with a dozen roses. Make sure that's what she wants. She wants that 90s R&B crap. She just wants the crap. She don't actually want the relationship. You know what she wants? She wants to be the first broad that is courted. Because all the other chicks are overly courted. They just go around when dudes just courting them, and they're just getting off on that. Like, yes, he's courting me. He's courting. Oh yeah, I just got courted last week. Like, I'm not gonna get with the first guy that courted me. This is retarded. On one hand, you have the broads who just want to be perpetually courted, who are being perpetually courted, and they're satisfied in life. Like, everything is happy in life because they are being perpetually courted. What does courted means? It means that they perpetually, listen, this is going to be crude. They are perpetually getting guys asking to fuck. That is what it means. And she's like, I just want more guys to want to fuck me. The other girls have that, and they are content with life. She wants that level of contentment. These broads.
That's a very frustrated side because, like, I'm 25 and I've never had a boyfriend before. And I'm not trying to rush anything, but like, damn, bitch, when the fuck is gonna be my time?
Now this says 26. This says 26. So she's lying about her age. Unless this is her birthday.
A bitch, at least, a bitch want flowers while she's alive. Like, damn, do a bitch gotta be dead to get fucking flowers? Like, I want to thoroughly planned out dates.
You want the man too, right? You want the man too. You actually want to have a husband. Do you want a husband or do you want flowers? You want a husband or do you want flowers?
At a nice restaurant, steak, mashed potatoes, 1942 lemon drop. And you know,
I don't know what a 1942 lemon drop is. I would think it's a World War II thing. Don't know. Don't really care.
look kecks afterwards, you know, the good shit.
Well, all right. All right, that happened. Not really much to say about that one. I want to be courted. She in her list of stuff that she wants, none of those things benefit the man. None of those things. She does not want to be of value to anybody else in her life, but she wants everybody to be valuable to her. I want the steak dinner. She doesn't even want the relationship. She just wants the same thing that the previous dudes have. Okay, here's a white one. All right, let's take a look at this. And it's funny that fellas aren't even trying to court these broads anymore. Like, you know, they're not going to singles events, single functions. Why do you want somebody to court? Like, men went.
This is why you're still single and don't have a boyfriend. So let's fix.
She can get the D, but I forget. I got so many. I got like two more of these. I forget exactly what she says, but she seems so far dizzy as hell. Some of them I liked, but yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Typically, when the woman is putting makeup on while talking to men, it's not gonna be something profound.
This is why you're still single and don't have a boyfriend. So let's fix that. You're just too pretty and people are intimidated by you. This is why you're still single and don't have a boyfriend. So let's fix that. You're just too pretty and people are intimidated by you, which means you're also looking in the wrong places because you want someone confident and not someone who gets intimidated so easily. If you're looking for a smart man, you ain't gonna find him in a club. I promise you. Try a library. Something a little bit more intellectual, if you will. Stop looking for a boyfriend. It is that simple. I swear, when you're looking for a boyfriend, you give off this desperate energy. People can tell. You ain't gonna find him when you're being desperate. Focus on yourself and put good energy.
Ladies, Bella, Baker, Melody, what are y'all doing? What is that? Because that's the second chick that did that. What is that? Are y'all curling your eyelashes or something? Are you gripping the fake lashes on? What is that? What is this device? My mom had it. What is that device? Anyway. Some things men are probably just aren't meant to know. But I forgot what I was thinking. Hold on, let me go back some.
That simple. I swear, when you're looking for a boyfriend, you give off this desperate energy. People can tell. You ain't gonna find him when you're being desperate. Focus on yourself and put good energy towards you, and he will come, I promise. Lastly, stop playing games. You are self-sabotaging yourself. If you stop doing those things, you will get yourself a good-looking boy, okay? Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, so her advice consisted of go to the library. Um, I think since the invention of the internet, the library is just there as a courtesy, like, because we don't want to, we don't want to, like, we have libraries just to say that we have it. And yeah, it's partially right, but once again, she's not really saying what her end game is. And also, she's assuming that the women are naturally valuable. So, yeah, that was a quick one. Don't really have much to say about that. Well, I go to the bookstore because I actually buy books from it. Like, I can't even imagine like the free books in the library being worth a damn. Because aren't those books donated? Meaning that it's stuff that I've either already read or, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good place to find what I'm looking for book wise. Like bookstores wouldn't exist if libraries had decent books for free. That's what it is. That's what it is. Bookstores wouldn't exist if libraries had decent books for free.
You guys, I cannot believe what my own mother said to me last night. She said, Kira, you need to go out and get a boyfriend. You're getting too old. She is kind of right. But what? I was like, Mother, that is so rude. Why would you say that to me? Oh my gosh. Okay, but if we're being real, where am I going to meet someone if I barely leave my house? Like, the only place I really go to is the grocery store. And I've actually always envisioned myself meeting my future husband at the grocery store, like in the pasta aisle or something. Like, we'll bump into each other and we'll make eye contact. And then, I don't know. You just know it's bad when your own mom points it out. These are just too good.
That dude is delicious. On keto, and it does look delicious. So, one of the first things I noticed, and Kevin Murray really speaks well on that. It's not only that Asian mothers are brutally honest, they actually give a damn about their daughters. If you're a mother and you don't tell your daughter that, it's because you don't give a damn. It's because really you see her as competition. Really, you want her to fail because she's going to be your only company in the loneliness, which is the rest of your life. So you don't want her in a relationship. But yeah, she actually gives a damn. If Black mothers gave a damn like that, then we wouldn't have the problems that we have. So, and Wakanda would be a real place. All right, got one more, and then our featured presentation. All right, so hit the like button. Okay, let's see what this one has to say.
I've never had a boyfriend. I'm 26 years old, and today we are going to talk about some of the struggles that come along with that. While I am very confident in the fact that I've never been in a relationship or had a boyfriend, there are still some factors that make it just a little bit difficult. So I wanted to share that in case anybody else felt the same way.
Okay.
First of all, there is this feeling of just being undesirable and like unworthy for a relationship that, especially if you don't have a boyfriend or relationship in your like very formative years in like high school and like even college, like it is just this feeling that you like can't really shake and you have to go out of your way to unlearn. And I've really struggled with that. I obviously know deep down that I'm worthy of love and being in a relationship and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes there's the devil on my shoulder that's just kind of like, well, if we're looking at past examples, like, no, you're not, because how come it hasn't happened yet? So it's been a journey to teach myself not to think like that. Then there's the fact of never having been in a relationship kind of makes you very independent. And like, while I was growing up, my focus was like school and swimming and friends. And now in this part of my life, I'm very career focused and friends focused. It's like, how do you like cycle a guy in? Because I've never had to do it before. So it's like, that's another tough thing. Then this might be a little bit more of a personal example, but I really struggle with being vulnerable with my feelings. I have a lot of walls up and my heart is extremely guarded, which I'm working on letting that down. Being open and vulnerable with my feelings scares me a lot, because every time that I have been brave and told a guy how I felt, shared my feelings, is always gone up in flames for me. It's never just been like, oh no, I just don't feel the same way. It's,
we don't care about your feelings. Not at the stage of relationships that you're in. You've never had a boyfriend, which means that you've never officially been in a relationship with a person, which means that you are giving your feelings to guys that you're dating. Why? We do not care. We are trying to get our feelings. Yeah. Ha. Get it? Our feeling. Feeling. All right. Anyway. So there's things that you have to learn. And you're not going to learn these things not having boyfriends.
usually been like, oh, I feel the same way, but we can't work out for XYZ, which in turn has made me feel like there's something wrong with me. And it's just been honestly kind of scarring, and now has made me really scared to open up with my feelings, because I'm like, I don't want to feel that again. And then that has led me into only wanting to keep things casual a lot of the times. So you don't have to deal with feelings. And so then it's like this transition of like, how do you jump from casual to like serious, when at the end of the day, I know that's what I want, but it's just really scary to like have to do it. And then transitioning from there, some may say I'm a little scared of love, but I will also say I'm scared of it and being in a relationship because I've never had it before. So it's like, I don't know who I am in a relationship, and that freaks me out. I love who I am.
I'm glad that she realizes that because it is a learning process. The other women who are, gonna wait till their mid 30s, they're going to begin the learning process in their mid 30s, which is kind of like learning how to read it in your mid 30s. It's like, okay, I mean, by the time you actually become a doctor, you will need a doctor.
Now, and I'm like, am I going to change? Am I going to be a different person? Or not even that, but I'm also like, I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what's going to happen. So it just kind of freaks me out a little bit. So that makes me a little scared. So those are kind of my inner struggles that I deal with as someone who's never had a boyfriend. And I just feel like at the end of the day, I know that these struggles make me a tougher person, make me a better person, and it's going to make my relationships, when the time comes for me to get into them, it's going to make them even better, because I've had to learn myself and learn all these kind of things.
Did she say what I think she said? Hold on.
To get into them, it's going to make them even better, because I've had to learn myself and learn all these struggles.
Yeah, she did.
Make me a tougher person, make me a better person, and it's going to make my relationships, when the time.
Yeah, she did what I thought she did. Okay. Notice she said relationships. It's that type of mentality that's disgusting and annoying. Dealing with modern women. So you waited all this time. You're not waiting for the one. You're waiting to begin a series of relationships. Meaning that, because if you planned on, your next one, you're really going to make it work and you're going to try your best, then you would have said it in a singular sense, or at least said relationship or relationships. But you're going to get with a guy who's going to be your boyfriend, and you're going to have the mindset of, okay, I'm just learning and preparing for my next relationship. This is a learning process, swinging from dick to dick. This is my learning process. This is the mentality that's out there. Imagine interviewing somebody like this, and they said, yes, so I can't wait to start working and to get some jobs, and I'm pretty sure I'll be great at those jobs. And you're sitting there looking like, we're looking for somebody with a sense of commitment, somebody who's going to work here at a job for an extended period of time, hopefully till retirement. You're just looking to go from job to job. You're just looking to take this information that we are paying to train you elsewhere, and then and then so on and so forth.
Time comes for me to get into them, it's going to make them even better, because I've had
What does she mean, get into them?
to learn myself and learn all these kind of things the hard way, and I think that's the best way to learn. So if you resonate with this, I feel for you.
When they say I had to learn the hard way, they're talking about the CC. The CC. When they're taking penis, they like, yeah, this is me learning the hard way. Or to some of you Viagra guys, the soft way.
And I love you.
All right. So that happened. That was a thing. All right, now let's move on. Let's move on. While I cue that up, I will read some comments. I've been sporadically. Let's see. Kenny People says attractive, athletic women is good for mattress. Okay, so provided that they don't have more to offer. I don't even think that this mentality is more likely or more prevalent amongst attractive women. Because really what it is some women just want to shop around, and other women just want to be let into the mall. Like attractive women just want to continue to shop around, and unattractive women want to be let in the mall so that they can shop around. So, yeah, I mean, both the same mindset, just different levels of ability to exercise that mindset. But I will say this, as far as attractive women go, they are innately more valuable. Understand this, women. Attractive women are better at being women. Just at a base level, they have an innate value to them that an unattractive woman doesn't. That value does not mean that a man wants to share his value with them. It means that she has something that he wants, and he wants it more than he wants it from an unattractive woman. That's all that means. That's it. That's all. All right, Bella Rings. Let's see. She says they will want one when it's too late. Yeah, that is the entire theme of what. Yeah, they're even saying the dates. They're even saying the dates where, it's too late. Oh, it's much too late. They're even saying that. Like, they're even saying, I'm going to wait till my mid-30s to start. Listen, I'm not saying, don't have kids in your mid-30s or something like that, but you just starting looking? Like, you just started? Like, you haven't had a boyfriend since then? You just spent that whole time dating? This is a good thing? Yeah, forehead slap. Exactly, yeah. All right, let's see. South Park reference. Okay. There's a woman turning 18 every day. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just have that. One of those accents. Everything is so proper. Okay, let's see. Also, the environment, mainly other women, told them it's okay. Exactly. And that's why I played the, I don't know if she's Asian, but that's why I played that one girl, because at least her mother did instill that into her. They are in a different hive. That's why they're the most desired women. even amongst white men. Yeah, it's not because of their huge boobs. It's because, you know, they come from a different hive. Never had a relationship is crazy because it shows that you lack the ability to even get along with a man. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It means that even the men who have sex with you don't want to deal with you. That's exactly what that means. Therefore, no man is even going to want to be in a relationship with you. Well, yeah, and not to mention that you're gathering baggage as you go. You're literally like gathering bags. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. How do you get to marriage without knowing how much old all right, my bad. I'm listening to something else about this. But anyway, it says they don't know how to conduct themselves in a relationship because they haven't learned. Yeah, relationship is a lot. Like, you ever get into a relationship with somebody you think is cool, but then like just the temperature. It's the little stuff. It's the temperature. Like you like to go to bed, and set the thermostat at 88 degrees, and she likes to set it to 60. These are small things that you don't really pick up on while you are dating. And yeah, somebody's going to be unhappy. Somebody is going to be unhappy in that situation. We're talking about a 28-degree difference. Like you from California, she from Alaska. So like, yeah, somebody's going to be unhappy, but they're not used to that. They just, because guys don't stay that long. All right. This isn't the one I want to see. Experience, check out the list. She really needs to look in the mirror as why dudes F me. Well, she I don't know which one you're talking about. Don't forget that he has the white wig and makeup. What he? Oh, you're talking about the British people? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, oh, you're talking about the Frenchman. Yeah, exactly. He has to be that guy. He has to be straight off the set of Bridgerton. Like he's fresh from a duel. He's fresh from a duel. So yeah, some of this is just ridiculous. I want to be even the word courted is some old timey chivalry honor system type stuff. Even roses is that, like, it's like all of that it just reeks of fairy tale. That's what it is. It reeks of fairy tale. Courting nowadays getting tricked on. Well, there's several types of tricked on. There's tricked on for money, and then there's tricked on with attention. But yeah, it's the same overarching concept, absolutely. She wants an ATM with abs. Yeah, and a story to tell. All right, let's see. Shit, Ariana Grande look-alike. Huh? That looks like a false eyelash tongues. Yeah. I don't go to nightclubs looking for quality women. Where do you go? I'm curious. Where can you go? in the West. All right, let's see. Or is she Australian? Okay, let's see. All right. They're real honest. Well, Asians in general are real honest about that. Peace, peace. What's that? Tisaka. Nowadays, there are more combustible engines than solid cars regarding modern relationships. You got to break that analogy down. Okay. All right. I found the video I was looking for, so I'll read a couple more of these and then I'll get to it, or I'll catch up to the bottom. All right. It says, meet in the middle. A chivalry sounds like some pay. Well, I mean, they're piecemealing it. They're taking what they want from chivalry and keeping it. Like, see, they never talk about, like how in chivalry, you didn't get to shop around because your daddy picked your husband. Now you can plead with your daddy and you can negotiate, but really your dad picked your husband. Like at 15 or some crap like that. You seen Game of Thrones? You seen Game of Thrones where you had the king in the first season? You had the king and he was sickly, and her dad, the black dude, set his daughter up, and it basically was like, okay, you're going to marry the king, and my grandson will be the king of Westeros. And and the mother prepared her for it. And this older man, this middle-aged man, was walking with this girl. She was being nice, and she said, he said, "What did your mother teach you about me?" And she says, "She taught me that you won't touch me until I'm 14. That's the side of chivalry that you don't see, that the women don't fantasize about. They don't fantasize about that side of chivalry, do they? With a dozen roses. They just fantasize about the dragon slaying and shit like that. And they think the stereotype of blacks is offensive. I got movie night tomorrow. Oh, just so y'all know, just in case I don't do a video tomorrow, movie night is tomorrow. Email me if you want the link. Sharikos was introduced by the Pope in the Dark Ages. You can't get more patriarchal than the Pope. Good point. I didn't know that it was introduced by the Pope, but yeah. We won't even go into hot quiches. Yeah, those exist. Those exist. Before Danica renounced her Keisha ways, she would likely have been considered a hot Keisha. So absolutely. All right. So let's get into it.
Before. Whenever I say that to people, the reaction is always like really surprised and like thrown off guard. Like, especially when I say that to guys, like it's crazy.
Dear women in your 20s, we don't like nose piercings of any type. Of any type. Of any type. We don't like the bull ring. We don't like the hoop ring. We don't like the old style Tupac ring. We do not like any nose piercings at all. At all. Ladies, the nose is quite possibly, and I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think what's worse. The nose is the least attractive part of your face. It's necessary, it's functional, but it leaves no ornamentation. There's nose, probably a close second is eyebrows. But yes, I like eyes. I like lips. I love full lips. I love round eyes. I never known a person. I don't know why women get nose jobs. Like, it is the least appealing portion of your face. It is the least appealing portion of your face from the front. I guess if you ever just stared at an ear long enough, it looks funny, but no. Stop piercing your damn nose. You're bringing attention to the least. You're a pretty girl. You're bringing attention to the least attractive part of your face.
Easy to come across somebody who's, seemingly attractive, seemingly somewhat normal, and to have never been in any sort of relationship before. And when I say nothing, y'all, I'm talking nothing. Like, not even a middle school boyfriend for 2 days. Like, it's giving nothing at all. Okay. And all this, I'm going to tie into my topic of why dating in your 20s is so hard. Hi, my name is Lisa. I make fashion, beauty, and lifestyle related content. And sometimes I like to chat. So if y'all are into all that, be sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss those videos. But yeah, y'all, I think this is a topic that many people our age can relate to. If you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you're in your 20s
I am not.
as well. But if you're not, I welcome you to join the conversation because, I think it's relatable, period. Whether you're a man or a woman watching this, there are some problems with dating nowadays that I just feel like we need to talk about. So I'm going to talk about it.
Okay. What happened? What happened? Damn it. Is this commercial? Oh, yeah, this is commercial.
And let me just put this out here. It's not to say that I've never talked to guys before. I've never dealt with guys or even have been in anything remotely serious. Like, I've experienced all of those things, but I've just never gotten to the point of a relationship status. And may I also...
All right. It's been a long time since I spoke 20s. What does it mean to be serious but not in a relationship? Because a person can be in a relationship, but it's still not serious. Like, first comes relationship, then comes serious relationships. So she's had serious situationships. This is dating is stranger now than when I was her age.
Also add that if you're a woman who clicked on this video to hear me say men ain't shit, girl, this ain't that kind of video.
That's
like,
good.
I'm moving in a more healed place with how I feel about love and just relationships in general. So this isn't gonna be that kind of video. So I'm so sorry in advance because we're not gonna be bashing men, but we will be spinning some facts though. All of my dating experiences are very personal to me, and that where I grew up, the environment I grew up in, all play a role in why my dating life looks the way that it does and why I've had the sort of experiences or haven't had some of the
Okay. The reason why she's a highlight because she's able to self-evaluate, unlike the other women. And she's actually looking towards a relationship as a goal, not just being courted.
experiences regarding relationships and love. So just keep that in mind. Y'all may not relate to it all entirely, but I hope that you can relate in some sort of way. To have no dating experience by the age of 24, like, it does sound kind of crazy. Like, it does. I'm not even gonna lie. But I can't help but to laugh a little bit because whenever I tell people this, and again, I'm going to emphasize, especially when I tell men this, it's always jumping to some sort of conclusion like, oh, you must be crazy. Oh, you must be difficult to deal with. You know, you.
We're right to jump to that conclusion. All right, let's be clear. All women are crazy. Um, for them to say that you must be crazy, it means that you are crazier than you are attractive, which is high level crazy. Like if an unattractive woman said, you know, I've never been in a relationship, we wouldn't say, oh, you must be crazy. We would say, no, you're unattractive. That's par for the course. But they look at you and say, okay, your crazy level must be high. And that's a fair assessment. I'm not saying that you are crazy, but just saying that the stereotype exists for a reason.
You must be hard to impress. It's always something, and you know, it just makes me laugh because it's really not as black and white as that. Yeah, those kind of conversations, those sort of reactions have really inspired this talk about why dating in your 20s is so hard. So let's get into it because I've broken this down into, I think, like 4 main points. And the first one I want to talk about is.
So y'all talking about her age. Of course, look at her. Look at her. She's keeping notes on her phone. If she was my age, she'd have a pen and paper or a pencil and paper. I write in pencil, but you know, she would have paper, stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I use a phone, but I mean, for a lot of things, but for basic notes, for like a list of notes, no, I write it down on paper. She was born after paper. Or she was born in a world where paper doesn't really exist like that, where they don't print stuff. She don't own a printer.
Where you're meeting people. I think where you're meeting people plays a big role in what your dating life can look like at the time. For example, I went away for college. I lived on campus, and I will say that's the most active and lively that my dating life ever looked in my life.
This is true. This is true. This is something that no one has told me. And this is something that no one has told a lot of these young women. That you're not going to get a better opportunity at finding a life partner your age than in college. The real world does not put you into a room full of people your own age and interest and reasonable intelligence level. The real world doesn't do that. And similar interests and stuff like that. The real world does not do that. Outside of college, they don't put like you in a room with, 24-year-old women and 24-year-old men and just have y'all work together in groups. If it did, there would be no single people. No, the real world is, if you work in corporate, you work in small teams of people of various ages and relationship status. You have people in their 30s that are married. You have a boss who's probably in his 40s or 50s or something like that. And all of whom are afraid to touch you. That is the real world. It does not work like that. You don't have the opportunity to vet. You don't have the opportunity to vet, which is how women best date. They don't like to just approach a guy. They like to ask around, shop around, look at how he interacts. By the time she's staring at you, and by the time she actually approaches you, or you actually realize that she's interested, she knows everything about you. She knows your zodiac and stuff like that. She knows your zodiac. She knows how often you visit your mom, and she knows how often you call your grandma. She knows everything. That is women's comfort zone. Somebody yelling, "Hey!" on the street is their uncomfort zone.
Like, I'm not even gonna cap, y'all. The dating pool was in constant rotation. But college is one of those places where you just are consistently meeting new people, and your social life is such a huge part of your college experience. So it really is no surprise that, I had the sort of dating experiences that I had in college, and I'm using quotations because I use the term dating very, very lightly in college. If you know, you know. Okay.
I
But
do
even
know.
still, I feel like dating in college is like very different. Like it's a very like younger, more fun, less serious kind of dating. Although you can find your love of your life in college. Some people do. But like generally for me, like it was a very young kind of dating. Like it was very unserious. And although I know that you can still
And that's the problem. It's an opportunity that young people, both men and women, don't take seriously. Like it's something that people don't take seriously. Yeah, but you should. You really should, because if if I had any idea what it's like afterwards, I would have taken it more seriously during college. And I think that she feels the same way. But it requires both sides at the same time to say, we need to start taking this seriously, because they need to know that after college, it's a huge dip. It's not impossible, and people do date after college. I'm just saying it's a huge dip.
be in your 20s for a portion of your college career. But for me, being in my 20s in college and being in my 20s in real life are completely two different things. Like, I can tell you that that girl was different. The way she dated was different. So now I think about where I am now. I'm 24 and I'm not in college. And you start to think about, how do you meet people now in real life outside of a school environment? And for somebody like me who works from home, I don't have any intentions on going back to school and living on campus, so that already starts to limit my.
Okay, so it's buffering, but probably a commercial coming up. But yeah, and they make you live together at least the first year. It's not There's not going to be a better opportunity. I didn't know any better. I went to college way back when. I did not know any better, but yeah, opportunity of a lifetime. I think Brienne met her husband in college. Yeah, so they were smart.
Options of meeting new people. And I guess there's always a way, like there's dating apps and stuff, but I could never really get behind that, y'all. Like it just isn't my vibe. I feel like with dating apps personally, like there's just this overarching theme that everybody's there for a reason. And I feel like sometimes it forces connections that aren't really there. And I'm just somebody who likes to meet people organically and naturally. And
What she's saying about the dating apps is true, and it shows a level of mental maturity that overshadows all of the other women that I displayed thus far.
in real life. So the dating apps just aren't for me. So it's like, now, if you fit into those categories of working from home and not going to school and not liking dating apps, the only other way you're meeting people is if you literally put yourself out there to meet people. And I just so happen to like to go out. Like me and my girls, whenever we go out, we have a good time. But we do still live in Massachusetts. And if you aren't too familiar with Massachusetts, there's really only so much that you could do out here. Occasionally, like we'll go to parties and we'll go to clubs, but personally, I don't think I'm finding what I'm looking for in those kind of environments. Like, that kind of environments, parties and.
Okay, let me address this now. So yeah, not everybody went to college, and yes, high school is the same except for a couple of things. One, that you just don't have the freedom that you do in college, making it that much more special. Um, but yeah, I mean, just anywhere where they put people of the same age together for extended periods of time is going to babies should come out of that.
Clubs are known to be really lighthearted, really fun, really flirty. And like, don't get me wrong, like I'm still single, you know, I still have fun and flirt and, you know, live your best single life or whatever it says, do you. But personally for me, there's just no fulfillment in that for me anymore. Like for me, like I'm
Now that's good. That's good. Because she's saying the same thing that the previous girls were saying. She's just being honest. Like, listen, there's no fulfillment in that anymore. See, there is a lure of single life for ladies. And society wants that lure to last indefinitely because the more that they're out there, you know, and she's kicking it with her girls and they're buying mimosas and you know, they're eating brunch and they're buying mimosas and they're getting mani-pedis and stuff like that. This is money. This is what's driving the economy. That in addition to the men who are out spending money hoping to get with them, hoping to smash these broads. That is driving their economy. Those mimosas is making them money. That avocado toast is making them money, you know. So, you know, the makeup, all that crap, like that's making them money. So they want to prolong that experience for as long as possible.
not really into the whole casual dating thing with multiple different partners. Like personally, my mind just can't take it. Like I've tried it, I've been there, but the way that my brain is set up, it don't work for me. Okay, so that's my reason for not being like that. But we need to understand that people have different versions of dating and how they like to date. And I think it's really important for you to, and when I say you, I mean like, you know, for your
Okay. We're the only ones who don't get it. Being the old person at the club is not it. Listen, everybody is the old person at the club now. And I know what you're referencing. You're referencing the movie because you probably been to movie night. You're referencing the movie I Think I Love My Wife when Kerry Washington was 32 and she says, I'm the old bitch in the club. Granted, if you go to a club now, everybody's over 32. Not because of any reason, but it's just something that young people don't do. It's an old form of seeking a mate. It's an antiquated form of seeking a mate, which means that only older people are doing it that way.
yourself to personally know how you like to date. And we'll talk about that a lot more later. I just want to lightly touch on that. But it brings me to my next point on what is your mindset? I think that this is such a huge thing. And you know, this one may hurt a couple feelings, but I feel like we have a lot of unhealed people trying to heal themselves with love, relationships, or just straight up attention. I also feel like a lot of us have a very romanticized version of what it means to be in a relationship without even having what it takes to be in a relationship.
She
I can
is
attest to all
kicking
this
knowledge.
because at one point I feel like both of those statements apply to me in some way, shape, or form. And it took some time for me to even acknowledge.
Okay, fellas, understand this. I do date younger. So know that. I'm in my 40s. Of all the younger women that I display today, she is the one that I would date and possibly consider something serious with. The rest of them, even the pretty ones, are dizzy as hell. Now, note what I said, and consider something serious with. Absolutely.
Recognize that within myself. Like truthfully, it really took me being in a toxic situationship and mustering up the strength to leave a toxic situationship for me to realize like, wait, there's a lot of work that I need to do within myself that I've never unpacked before. So it's time. And you know, realistically, you're never gonna fully be healed. You know what I'm saying? We're always healing from something. But I do think that there's a certain level of intention and accountability that you need to have when making yourself available for relationships or like entering the dating world. by having certain tough conversations with yourself, having certain uncomfortable conversations with yourself. And a lot of people are scared to do that. A lot of people don't even know how to approach doing that. So instead, it's easier to distract yourself with another situationship, with another fling, with another thing. Like, it really is no shade. I feel like everybody eventually comes to this, I guess, self-awareness in their own timing, because your 20s really are that time when you're still finding.
They don't sleep with it. They don't sleep with it. I've noticed. And furthermore, that is something that, yes, as time progresses, I will convince her to go against it. If she can't accept and embrace a modest request, you know, if your dude is saying, I don't feel the nose ring thing, and she keeps putting it in, then she's an unruly bitch, and you're better off without her.
And discovering yourself. I think a lot of the time we like to say that it's our teenage years where we're finding ourselves, but nobody warned us about our 20s. Like, this is a different level of finding yourself. You know, when you're trying to find yourself while also dabbling in the dating world, I just feel like it personally is a little messy. For real. Like,
Losing points.
no communication skills, but we in consistent talking stages. Like, how that makes sense?
Consistent. Okay, she's losing points. All right, so here's why she's losing points. First of all, a tree is forever growing. A tree is forever growing. It doesn't necessarily stop growing. However, there comes
That's all I'm saying. Okay.
There comes a point to when a tree is grown and mature enough that you can harvest fruit from it. And if you're in your 20s, you should be at that point. You shouldn't say, "Oh, I'm not going to give off fruit because I'm still growing." That's nonsensical. You should be saying, "Okay, I'm still growing." And guess what? If you get with a 60-year-old Idris Elba dude, then he's still growing too. Believe it or not, he is still growing too. That should not hinder you, because and I don't know if this is where she's going with this, and I hope it's not, because a lot of women use this "I'm still growing" to end relationships prematurely, so they could, because they feel like they have to be single. The only way they can grow is to be single, because they're stupid like that, you know, or not get into a relationship because they still need to grow. You're always going to need to grow. Don't be stupid.
Okay, my next point is definitely the biggest one. I think it's the most obvious one that we're all a little too familiar with. People are scared to have conversations. I don't even need to touch on this too much. Like, personally, this is the biggest one that I've noticed in all of my dating experiences. And even from what I've heard from my friends, like, people really just be scared to talk and say how they feel. And it's so insane at our big age that we can't tell somebody how we feel without being scared. Like, I get it, because
She's hitting
I'm
on
literally
points
talking
here.
to myself. Like, hello, I'm her. I'm who I'm talking about. But it really is crazy, and I feel like this is the culprit to a lot of failed situationships and a lot of failed relationships, just because people just don't have the communication skills, or they don't want to. I feel like the main reasons why people are scared to have conversations are for the obvious reasons. People are scared to say how they feel or what they want out of fear that the person doesn't feel the same way, or they don't want to look stupid or pride or whatever it is. But whatever it is, it got us in a chokehold, and I want us to be released from these shackles. Like, we're way too old for this. Like, seriously. And truthfully, I feel like the lack of conversations lead to an overarching issue, which just ends up wasting time or causing unnecessary conflict. And
Well, I don't entirely agree, but she's much younger than I am, so her experience is going to be significantly different. I favor myself to be an excellent conversationalist. And yeah, so, but times are different. So she's speaking to her truth.
That's all I need to say for that. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think that's something we can all relate to. I won't touch on this too much. So let's move on to the next point, that you need to acknowledge how you want to date. Now, I know I mentioned this earlier. We're about to get back into it. I'm going to expand on exactly what I mean when I say that.
Do.
So I think a lot of the times when people are entering the dating world, they're coming in with this sort of mindset of, oh, I'm dating to be in a relationship, or, oh, I'm just dating casually. I'm just trying to mess around. And I don't think it's always as black and white as that. So I started to think about what I wanted a little bit more in depth, like thinking about how often I want to see my partner and how often we want to communicate, and just thinking like super granular. And I really encourage y'all to think that way when approaching like dating situations or just dating in general, because I think this helps a lot to not think about it in such a vague sense of I want to be in a relationship or I don't want to be in a relationship, because what does that actually mean? What does that actually even look like? I think for everybody, even saying that, the build up to that looks different, because I think when you think of it super.
Okay, I'm gonna address what you just said, but I'm gonna address something in the chat room, and because you bring up a good point. I can't Lembeck something like that. Yeah, I didn't even consider that aspect. So it was maybe like 2007, 2008, and girls would text me, and I'd call them because I was thinking of it like a page, which I'm also old enough to have experienced, maybe not as an adult, but still I'm old enough to know what the original pagers were. I looked at it as a page, so I get a text and like, hey, how you doing? And then I call and be like, hey, I'm fine. How you doing? So that was 2007. And I'm already grown and stuff. So she was 7 at that time. So that is the world that she grew up in. Limited conversations, where it takes an hour to have a 10-minute conversation, because that's how text works. Hey, how you doing? Boop, 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 boop. I'm fine. How you doing? Boop, 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 boop. I'm good. Where you at? That's really just 30 seconds in actual talking, so you could get more done when you're talking to people. But that's the world she grew up in. That is how she lived, and that's why she's reading her notes off of I think it was an Android, and not on piece of paper. So yeah, completely different worlds. And yes, I could see how we have developed better conversational skills than her generation. So she's talking on something that I'm not as familiar with.
Super granular on this kind of level, like it helps you to not waste time, and it also helps you to notice the red flags early on of what's going to work and what's not going to work. Like, I'll be the first to tell y'all right now, like, I'm the biggest victim of going with the flow. Like, I've wasted so much time in my dating experiences just going with the flow. And actually, now I realize that there probably are healthy ways that you can go with the flow, but go with the flow with the understanding of knowing what you want. Go with the flow with the sense of boundaries. But before, it was just like aimlessly and mindlessly going with the flow until things just ultimately ended. But I do feel like that's something that's really common in our generation. Like, people use these really blanketed statements like, oh, I'm just chilling, or, oh, I'm just going with the flow, to hide the fact that they don't really know what they want. And I think the reasoning for that is one of two things. I think.
Okay, so Droopy D said something I wanna address. I'm gonna address the go with the flow thing at the end because I wanted to get her spit out, but I want to say this too. She's wearing hair /weave /stocking cap mask thing. Yeah, like above the forehead line, it's all kind of crazy crap going on that I'm really not into. And this goes into the conversation that I had with that Dizzy broad, Zed, on my last video. And she's like, why y'all like Latinas? They got fake breasts and y'all don't like fake hair. Listen, We don't like fake hair, but we will tolerate it if everything else is on point. I don't like the nose ring. I would tolerate it if all the other stuff is on point. Don't confuse tolerance with something that is light. But we tolerate it with higher quality women. The reason why, that comes up is because you're dealing with a low quality woman. Listen, you are unattractive and undesired if a man is complaining about your nose ring, or if the nose ring is a deal breaker. Take Chloe Bailey. Chloe Bailey can get it, nose ring or not. Haley Bailey can get it, nose ring or not. Megan Good can get it, nose ring or not. Kelly Stamps can get it, nose ring or not. Okay? We would prefer that she didn't, but if she did, she still get it. However, Issa Rae is one mistake away from not getting the dick. Okay? You are on the borderline. You are on the borderline. And in the Black community, far too many broads is one hair piece away from not being able to get her to get it. Okay. Somebody's saying stuff. P-Dad is saying stuff. Let's bring this up. Listen. When I say get it, I say get it. Here's what I mean by this. And I did say her sister too. I did say Haley. Here's what I mean by that. Chloe is just an extraordinarily sexually attractive person to me. Why? Because before I even get into the tits and the bits, she got those lips and those eyes that I like. Listen, I tell you fellas exactly what I like. I like them big round almond eyes and I like them full lips, and Chloe has both. Haley has thin lips, relatively speaking. And that's before we get into all the wobblety and the biteable. Yeah. So Chloe gets it amongst all women in the world whose last name is Bailey. Chloe gets it. Now we're going to talk about the wife portion. And this is the type of appeal that people like Brienne and Bella Rings have, because you see it in action. Now both of these women are taken, and so is Haley, but at least you get to see it in action. And what I've seen with Haley is like a Madonna thing. Like, she was at Disneyland and a little girl runs up to her because she's the Little Mermaid, and she hugs her. And then Haley's just like, has this little black girl in her arms, and she's just spinning around and hugging her. And the black girl was just in love and stuff like that. It's a different type of appeal. So if I'm listing who I want to do, then Chloe is going to come before her sister. Yeah. Huh. Chloe's going to come before her sister. And I'm not saying her sister's not. Oh, her sister is pretty too. Her sister's pretty too. But there's different types of pretty.
I think it's one, people are coming into situations without any sort of prior understanding of what they want entering situationships. But I also think another part of it is people are trying to match each other's energy in talking stages and situationships. And that to me is just so mind-blowing. And I speak about that one from a super personal experience, because I'm also a victim of doing that as well. And it's the ugliest thing in the world, because girl, what do you actually want? I think back to my college dating experiences where I would do this most often. And, people would say all the time, oh, what's your status? What are y'all? It's oh, we're just chilling. We just going with the flow. You hear that so much in college. And for me, whenever I said that, all that meant is I was matching the lead of the dude that I was talking to. If the guy wanted to move in a more serious direction, well, now I'm thinking more seriously. If he's giving me casual vibes, then shoot, I'm moving casually too. But the problem with that is that it actually takes away from putting yourself first in relationships, and instead it puts somebody else first. It puts their desires first. It puts their wants first. And it doesn't give you the ability to think if this is something that you actually want to do. And I just feel like that it's so common, even outside of a college environment. Like, that is so common in our 20s for people to just be matching energy, when really that's not it. It's given toxic, okay? And I rebuke. But that's actually all I had today. Those are the main points I wanted to touch on. I could talk about this for days, y'all. So if you want a part 2, let me know, or give this video a thumbs up. Also, let me know your thoughts on this video as well. If you could relate to anything that I said, definitely drop me a comment. But again, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.
My first YouTube check. Okay, I remember that. Let's see. Okay, so just curious. All right, so let's talk about what she was saying, particularly about going with the flow. And while she do that, I'm gonna give out some wrenches. I'm looking around, I haven't given out wrenches in a bit, but the go with the flow thing. People go with the flow when they don't take things seriously, and when they are secure in the thought that everything is going to be all right regardless. That's when you go with the flow. Like, men on battlefields, they're not just going with the flow. They actually are thinking and calculating each and every single decision that they make, because one false move and you are gone. You know, you step in the wrong place and it's a landmine there, you are gone. You know, if you hold the grenade too long as opposed to throwing it, then you are gone. One false move and you are gone. The go with the flow thing is a luxury manner of thinking, which is what she had in college. Society deliberately instills this into young women. Now, of course, men are going to, go with the flow, especially if that flow, consists of some good and some wet wood. Of course, they're going to go with the flow. But for a woman to do that, it means that she has been conditioned to not take it seriously, to not take this aspect of life seriously. Like, que sera, whatever will be, will be. It's that. But that song was really written for rich white girls. Like, other people actually have to consider stuff. Like, I'm picturing like the guys in the 50s, the Mad Men, and if your father was wealthy, you're a blue blood, you really don't have to take life seriously. And I think that that's what she was going through. She really just didn't have to take life seriously, or relationship seriously, because she's pretty enough to know that she has options, and she could just go with the flow. There's just this thinking that at the end, everything is going to be all right and okay. That is not true. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. Hit the like button. All right. This is singer Maya. Still looks good. She's 40 plus. I think she's like 42, 43. And she married her damn self. Now, you would never think that would happen, right? You wouldn't think that would happen to Vivica Fox, right? See, for a young woman, especially one who's reasonably pretty, it is an impossibility that this would happen. It is an impossibility that this would happen to both Chili and Left Eye from TLC. It's an impossibility that this would happen to, Pepper from Salt and Pepper. Like, it is an impossibility to think that if you do not take relationships seriously, that this could happen. It's an impossibility. Take away the fame and fortune. Take away the fame, right? And just like the looks and the dancing. Oh, and I seen her at a Howard homecoming years ago, maybe even over a decade ago. And she got that bump too. You can't see it for whatever reason. All of her, well, not for whatever reason, because she's an older woman, and that's what we did in our generation. We actually took pictures of our fucking faces like normal human beings. You don't really see her ass much, but it's there. It's there. And you would never assume, if you've seen her 25 years ago, that she would not only be unmarried in her 40s, well, she's married to herself, but you would never have guessed that, especially if you're a young woman. You would never have guessed that, if you don't take relationships seriously, no matter how fine you are, it could happen to you. They never see that coming, and that's why they just go with the flow, because they don't think that the flow will lead your ass to marry your goddamn self. Now, that being said, I heard that she's a complete and total bitch. That her stage presence is polite and sweet, but to people, see, and this is why you got to be careful, you famous people. You got to be careful how you treat the people who get your donuts. You got to be careful how you treat the working people, the donut getters, the makeup artists, the ones who fix your shoes, the ones who fluff your hair, the ones you got to, the ones who park your car. You got to be careful. Yeah, you just got to be careful, because Maya, word got out about you. And I'm not talking about through some internet stuff or anything like that. Word got out about you, because I never met you or anything like that backstage. But that you're a complete and total bitch. Now, I will say this. The person who told me is a complete and total bitch. So, yeah, it's 50-50. But yeah, I heard things. Nevertheless, what do I want to say about that? Don't just go with the flow. Take it seriously as young as you can. Take it seriously as young as you can. You ladies, you don't have the luxury of time. Fellas, you really don't either. But ladies, you definitely don't have the luxury of time like that. You definitely don't. Fertility alone is not your friend. So let's not do that. I'm glad that she's only 24 and she recognizes that in herself. I'm talking about the last girl that I showed, that she's only 24 and she recognized that in herself. But yes, it is something that you should take seriously. So in conclusion, to answer the question, why so many attractive women are still single, is because the primary reason, they're not taking it seriously, because they feel that the life advantages that they have is always going to be there. Number two, society isn't set up for people to get together anymore. There are no more clubs. There are no more, church socials. There are no more, I mean, all these things still exist, but they're not comfortable places for people to meet anymore. There aren't any church revivals. There aren't any, family gatherings with with your father's fraternity brothers, and he has a son and all that crap. All that is gone. Every avenue that you can think of to link up is tainted and distorted. And it's that way for a reason. And that's because a not insignificant amount of the population, both male and female, are not taking it serious, which means that you are going to get any avenue that you could think of for singles to get together. You're going to find people who are there that is not taking it seriously, which is frustrating the opposite sex. For example, if you're a woman and you want to, and you're looking for your future husband, and you go on Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You go to one of these dating sites and you find out that the majority of the men are not taking it seriously, then you get frustrated. And then if you're a guy and you go to the same place and you find out that the women are there to get attention, they're there to shop around and shop 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 and shop. Ooh, flowers. Shop and shop and shop and shop and shop. Shop and shop and shop and shop and shop. Cheddar biscuits. Shop and shop and shop and shop and shop. Shop and shop and shop and shop and shop. Prime rib. Shop. That is what they're doing. It's tainted on both sides because there's so many unserious people. There's so many unserious adults out there. If I were to create a dating site, I would need like an enforcement aspect of it. And that enforcement would be me calling the people individually that's not taking this serious. And that call would go like this. Bitch, your ass have been here for 6 months. I haven't seen you swipe right once. You haven't swiped right once. You are deliberately swiping left, even on famous, handsome niggas, just because that shit make you feel good. Get the fuck off my site. How dare you come here just to swipe left on niggas? If you're not looking for dick, then not look for dick in your own personal life. Get the fuck off my site. You nasty bitch. You time-wasting bitch. Wasting motherfuckers' time. Listing things that you want, and then when a nigga meets the list, you ain't gonna swipe right on them. Get the fuck out of here. Come on here every day to check your inbox and ain't responded not one time. You nasty fucking bitch. I could tell a Photoshop bitch when I see one. I could tell a filtered bitch when I see one. That would be my dating site. That would be my dating site. Do not come to my dating site unless you're there to suck dick or find a husband or both. Because you're degrading the quality of the site. The men are paying money. The men are paying money. They're paying me money. You raggedy bitch. You're throwing them away. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody that participated. Oh, wait, let me check my Cash App. I don't be on that like I should. Give me a second. All right, all good. All right, so thank everybody that participated. Movie night is tomorrow. If you're interested, what's the movie gonna be? I forget. It's gonna be good though. It's gonna be good. Last time we watched a movie called The Simp. I recommend that people watch that movie. It is it's showing how aware society is becoming. It's a good film about the whole concept of simping and all that crap. So, good movie. Email me if you're interested. Outside of that, this is GameChanger 00100. No, okay. So you're gonna post it on Discord. No, I don't really do a Discord thing like that. I need to. Zone set it up for me a long time ago. I really need to get in the Discord. I haven't, but I will. But no, just email me and I'll give you the link, the Zoom link to movie night. But yeah, this is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.